Hello everyone, welcome to Discover This. I'm Tom Walker. Today we're out in Imperial County, California, out near the sand dunes off Grayswell Road, and we're going to talk about the old plank road, some automobile history from back in the early 1900s. So back in 1912, a gentleman by the name of Colonel Ed Fletcher made a bet with a reporter from LA that he could get from San Diego. Basically it was a race. The reporter would leave from LA, Colonel Ed Fletcher would leave from San Diego, and the first one to Phoenix wins. Colonel Ed Fletcher had to come through the sand dunes out here, and when he got out here he had horses pull his car through the sand dunes. Well, he ended up winning the race, but then that gave him the idea that they needed to have some kind of a better way other than horses to get cars through these sand dunes. So him and some other folks came up with the idea of a plank road. So we're going to look at the history behind that and just talk about what's left of the old plank road. So we're going to start our little adventure at the San Diego Automotive Museum because they have a display going on currently about the old plank road. So we'll go in and check out the display and then make our way back out to the desert and see what's left of the old plank road. So inside the exhibit at the San Diego Automotive Museum, you have some examples. And just a little bit of history. And a map showing exactly where it was. So out here off of Grayswell Road, they have some storyboards They give you the history of the old plank road and some pictures, and you can see this photo up here of the fabrication plant that's out in Oglebay. And then just some of the preservation that people have tried to do. Now, when I was a lot younger, we'd travel out east on Interstate 8 heading to Arizona, and you could still see parts of the old plank road along Interstate 8. But over the years, people being people, they weren't treating it right, vandalizing it and things of that nature. So the people preserving it moved it over here to this little area where you can come and see it, or what's left of it. I have put up a monument sign here. It's a little hard to read. One of the issues with the plank road is on windy days such as this, the sand would blow over the planks and cars would lose track of where the planks were. And that was especially, that happened especially with the original 25-inch planks that were side by side. Once the sand blew over them, the cars couldn't see them and the cars would go off the planks, and they would have to get horses and things out here to pull the cars out. So it became kind of treacherous. Okay, we are now in Oglebay, California, or what's left of Oglebay, California. And this is where they had the fabrication plant for the new edition of the old plank road that was done in 1916. And Oglebay, the town, was divided by the train tracks. So part of the town was over there on that side, and that's where, you know, the schoolhouse and some of the dwellings, and there's a cemetery over there. And then the train station was over here on the north side of the tracks, and next to the train station is where they built the fabrication plant. So we have a map showing the outline of Oglebay and where things were. Now, you know, the railroad over the years has, you know, upgraded the rail lines and added a second line and maybe realigned it slightly, but not too much, because the town is, what's left of the town, the slabs and things are still over there. Now they would bring in lumber from, you know, the west, and they would bring it here to Oglebay, and then they would fabricate 25-foot sections of plank, and then from here they would cart those planks via horse and mule about 9 miles west out to the sand dunes where they needed those planks. And that's how they built the new 1916 version of the old plank road. So really there's nothing left of the old train station or the fabrication plant. And again, we'll do a video on the town of Oglebay itself and some of the other mining towns that are in this area at another time. But just so you have an idea, Ogilvy Road is right down there where the train crossing is. So you can access this site via Interstate 8 and exit Ogilvy Road and go north. And then again, the town site, or what's left, most of it's on the south side of the train tracks here. Now these are part of the 1916 refurbishment, the 25-foot planks that replaced the original plank road. So this is how they have the old plank road preserved now, so people don't ruin it anymore. And again, just another section of the old 25-foot section of plank that they fabricated in Ogilvy and then carted over here. Now this over here is what the original 1915 old plank road used to look like. So you can imagine having to keep your car on these planks here, and then when the sand blew over it and covered everything and you couldn't see it anymore, very easy to go off track. And then up alongside here is a long stretch of the old plank road, what's left. Interstate 8 is right up there. So the old plank road was eventually replaced. The wooden planks were replaced by an asphalt and cement combination. And then after that, that was replaced by Old Highway 80, US 80. And then that in turn was replaced by Interstate 8, which is what we have now. Through it all, you still got blowing sand. But you get the idea, and you can see how weather and time deteriorates things, and it's pretty harsh conditions out here, and these wooden planks would deteriorate pretty fast between the heat and then also the rains when they do happen. So they had to replace and repair quite often. Again, if you want to come out here, and I encourage you to do that, just along Interstate 8, just to get your bearings, if you can see that fence right out there. That's the fence between the United States and Mexico. So that's how close we are. And then again, back over here is Interstate 8. And then you want to take the Grayswell Road exit and follow it back around alongside Highway 8 or Interstate 8 till it dead ends down here. So that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, from what's left of the old plank road out here in Imperial County at the sand dunes. Hope you enjoyed learning about the old plank road. I learned some new history, and I thank you for watching this video, and we will see you on our next Discover This adventure.